It's Sierra from Sisterfrennn.com. I am so excited to be bringing you guys this video today because it is one that I have been working on. I have recorded it several times and then lost footage and then re-recorded it. And so I am finally so excited to have it for you. Now I have some new friends out here, here on the channel. My friend Kelly from Canada. And then I have another friend who's in the UK, and her and I have had a lot of side conversations, but y'all have been with me talking about getting your bones, which if you're new here, I'm sorry. Like I said, my name is Sierra. I run the blog Sisterfrennn.com, and I am super passionate about gut health. I was born with a genetic blood disorder called sickle cell disease, and when I was 26 years old, I received an allogenic bone marrow transplant from someone in the UK, and it cured me of sickle cell. I had a lifelong history of antibiotics, narcotics, really because of the sickle cell. I had to be on a lot of narcotics for my whole life, being hooked up to pain pumps. Then they would get the pain under control, and then I would have to go through withdrawal, and then I went on antibiotics because I had yeast infections. And then when I had my bone marrow, and then I also had my gallbladder out, and then when I had my bone marrow transplant, I went through chemotherapy, and after the chemotherapy I went through avascular necrosis from all the immunosuppressants, steroids, and the chemo itself, more narcotics. Then that led me to knee surgery, and then that led me to early menopause. So I have had a very dense medical history, and thank God, I'm really trying to find the balance because I do thank God for Western medicine. It has provided me some help, and I'm really trying to find that balance because sometimes I get really angry. But through it all, I have found that food is medicine and medicine is food. And through all of the things that I've gone through with chemo, antibiotics, and just all of the Western drugs that were pumped into me growing up and through my young adult life, I really suffered from a lot of gut dysbiosis. I suffered from anxiety and depression. I was never able to get my head above water. Just a year and a half ago, I found out, I heard about this genetic mutation called MTHFR. And if you don't know about this mutation, please get checked. I actually am in a support group, and I just ran across this man's post, and he was like, I don't understand. I had a heart attack. I'm eating clean. And so a lot of people don't understand the ramifications of the genetic mutation MTHFR. It can be the cause of cardiovascular disease. It can be the cause of strokes. And if you have this mutation, you need to be on methylated B vitamins, and you need to be on said teas, herbal teas, tonics. I like to do burdock root, dandelion root, milk thistle, licorice, and I like to use these teas to detox my liver because MTHFR is a detoxification issue. I'm not going to go super deep into the weeds about that, but everyone needs to get tested for that. So when I found out I had it, my whole life made sense, because also if you have MTHFR, folic acid is very toxic to your body. Here in America, I don't know how it is in other places in the world, they put folic acid in everything. I'm always ranting and raving about it. Folic acid is in a lot of bagged food. I mean, I recently went to Costco a couple weeks ago, and I was gonna get a salad, and it said that the salad had folic acid in it. So if you have MTHFR, your body cannot turn folic acid into the active form folate. And so anyway, this man was on this whole rampage about the heart attack, and so I think it's really important that everyone gets tested for this mutation. So as someone who had the mutation, I was also given a chemotherapy drug that is very toxic for somebody with MTHFR. I was given methotrexate. And so for years and years and years, I have battled with anxiety and depression, sleepless nights, just bad gut issues. And I did not know that your gut could be the reason for so much dysfunction. I've made friends with some of you guys here in the comments, and that is the thing that we have in common on this journey, is that we've all kind of gone through these journeys where we have now dealt with really bad gut dysbiosis. Maybe we've had just all kinds of really bad things happen. And so one of the things that I'm really passionate about, of course, some of you guys have probably found me through my cultured dairy videos, which I'm working on more of those for you guys. But the really big way that you're going to heal your gut lining is through broth. I cannot stress that enough. The more I read, the more I learn in Chinese medicine. I've read Sally Fallon Morell's book cover to cover. I will put the link in the description box for this book, but this is called Nourishing Broth. She has a whole series, Nourishing Traditions, Nourishing Broth. I think she has another one that I'm blanking on, but I love this book. It's actually full of recipes. I haven't tried any of her recipes, but the whole beginning of the book is talking about the healing powers of broth. She's all about ancestral healing, and I could not agree more. Ancestral healing has healed me. And so broth is a really important way to heal your gut lining. For one, it's got glycine. It's got all of the essential amino acids. I mean, if you're getting your bones grass-fed, I mean, in this video, you guys are gonna see that I got some of my bones from one market, from a farmer's market, and then I got some from an international food store, because it's very expensive, okay? It's very expensive, and I know a lot of us are balling on a budget. Bones are just so great, and bone broth is something that you can sip on every single day. Like I told you guys, I was diagnosed with premature ovarian failure. It's also now called premature ovarian insufficiency. Am I clear? Am I clear? Yeah, okay, I have a Ranky camera. So yeah, I was diagnosed with premature ovarian failure, premature ovarian insufficiency, and you know, a lot of women are always complaining about their hair, their skin, their nails, dryness, libido. All of these things are very tied to your gut. And when I started making broth, I mean, I've always been a soup head. My mom used to call me, "You're just a soup head," because I always love soup. Like, my husband is like, "I've never had this much soup in my life until I was like with you, until we were dating and married." So I've always loved soup, but when I read Nourishing Broth, and when I started studying more Chinese medicine and learning how they eat and how they support their bodies, I was like, okay, soup needs to be like broth needs to be an everyday thing. It is so healing. It's got gelatin, and so it's just got, like I said, all those amino acids, and it's just very important as you heal your leaky gut, as you heal your SIBO. And it's very nourishing, it's very gentle. A lot of you guys have food intolerances. You cannot tolerate a lot of foods, but broth is something that is very bioavailable. It's easily digestible. You can have it with a nice carb, like some jasmine rice or something of that nature. You can put an egg in it. If you're not familiar, you can also look up the GAPS diet, and many people have healed by eliminating food and doing broth and then slowly adding things back in. So today, without going on a long, we're at 8 minutes, without going on a long rampage, my husband's like, "Wrap it up, Sierra." He's like, I wish I had it on video the last time you watched my video. But anyway, today I'm gonna show you guys how to make pho. If you don't know what that is, it is a Vietnamese soup. You can go look it up, but it's delicious. My husband does not like it, and actually, prior to me doing this video, we didn't know why he didn't like it. I mean, my husband has always liked when I made dals or pulses, and I always use coriander, fennel, cloves, cinnamon. So I could never understand why he did not like my pho, you know? And so anyway, this past week, he was looking up he was gonna make a new recipe. And he was like, "Babe, do we have star anise?" And I was like, "Yes, we do have star anise." And I was like, "I think that you don't like star anise," because I was like, star anise is the one herb that I put in pho that you, like, that's the one herb that you've never had and you don't like pho. So anyway, he smelled the star anise and he's like, "Yes." He's like, "That is what I don't like. I don't like that." And star anise, it kind of has like a licorice type smell to it. So anyway, I have got this pho down packed. It is such an easy recipe and it's very nourishing. And so in this video, you're gonna get the pho recipe, and you're also gonna get just a basic gelatinous bone broth recipe. So I made pho for myself, and then for my husband, I just made plain bone broth. And so this is really great. I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. It's very gelatinous, it's very nourishing. Get this one into your diet, have bone broth. Also check out my other video. And I'm also gonna do another video on this one with the Instant Pot. In this video, I did it the old fashioned way on the stove, but in my next video, I'm gonna do it with the Instant Pot, which there's not that much of a difference. Like I said, check out my other video with chicken feet, because chicken feet is also a really great way to have a nice gelatinous broth. Do not cut the nails off. They're full of keratin and good stuff. The chicken feet broth is good. And then if you haven't yet, head to Sisterfrennn.com, download my Rebirth the Ancestral Way. I'm gonna give a copy of that to the first 100 of you who download it. And it's just a 20-page like a love letter to you on your healing journey as you get started. I know it can be very overwhelming on where to start, but it doesn't have to be, because healing is simple for everybody. I believe that God has given us everything on this earth that we need to heal, and we just need to know how to put these things together to make miracles happen. And so, like I said, head to sisterfrennn.com to download my Rebirth the Ancestral Way guide, and then also head to sisterfrennn.com because I have another guide, and it is my grocery guide. It's my grocery list, and it is going to just kind of give you some ideas of what you can buy so that you can just not have to think about it. I know it's like, what do I buy? What do I eat? What do I not eat? And here's the thing, I'm not here to tell you guys what to eat, what to not eat. There's plenty of people who are like yelling at you that you'll die if you eat carrots, and like I cannot with the I can't do it. But there are some things that I believe that humans have been consuming for centuries that are very bioavailable, that the body knows how to access. So I'm all about bioavailability, and so I think the grocery list is a really great, what is the word? It's a really great, what is the word? Asset for you. Could not think. I don't even know if it's an asset. Most people like asset. It's an asset for you. I don't even know if that's the right word, but that's what we're gonna go with. So anyway, go there to download the guide. And also I have a really great video coming out, a really amazing video coming out. I just finished the edits. I'm finishing up some finishing touches on it, but this next one is super healing. You guys are going to love it. You're gonna be like, wait, what? I have so many fun things coming, but I'm really excited. Let me go ahead and get into the video. Let me show you guys how to make pho, and then also just a very simple bone broth. Like I said, heal your gut, heal your life. Everything else will get better. All my perimenopause ladies, menopause ladies, SIBO people, all y'all who have been on antibiotics, we've been through the journey, y'all. We have been through the illness journey. Now it is onward and upward. Amen. All right, let's get into the video and make this bone broth that is super healing. All right, you guys are about to learn how to make the most amazing, gelatinous, most flavorful, healing bone broth that you have ever had. Stick around because this is definitely a broth you want in your diet. So first off, if you are going to be making pho, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to get a massive piece of ginger and an onion. We're going to slice the ginger in half and slice up the onion. Now, I am keeping the skin on this onion because this is an organic onion from the farmer's market. There are tons of nutrients and healing properties in the skin of onions. So only use the skin if it's organic, if you know who you're getting the onion from. So I am going ahead and I am grilling the onion and the ginger, and this particular recipe we're working on right now is for our pho. So with a lot of traditional Vietnamese pho, I have studied that they like to grill the onion and the garlic.
Within a week or two, and then do more.
Now here are my bones. I got the beef bones from my local farmer. His stuff is so expensive, but it's so amazing. I also got the oxtail from him. And then the ones in the packages I actually got from the international supermarket. So here I have some beef neck bones, some knee, some shank knee, and some ox feet. Now the ox feet and the oxtail are the ones that are so gelatinous, and these are really going to help give your broth all of that good gelatin. So now I'm just chopping up my oxtail, and like I said, if you have autoimmune issues, IBS, eczema, anything like that, broth is going to be so very gentle for you and so healing. If you have eczema, if you have psoriasis, if you have colitis, this is very gentle and very healing. If you have any sort of rheumatic issues like rheumatoid arthritis or avascular necrosis, broth is going to be your best friend. So I'm just splitting up all the bones. The big pot is mine. And the first thing that we're going to do is we are just going to clean the bones. We want to get any impurities out. So in both of them, I've got some water, and then I'm just adding in a hint of apple cider vinegar. And as the water is boiling, we're going to start to see all those impurities come out. So I'm just going to start to scoop off the impurities of the broth. The big pot is mine, and the small one is my husband's. So after about 15 minutes of them boiling, there you can see all the nasties that came off of the broth. So it's really important to clean your bones first, or that gunk will be in your soup. So we're going to go ahead and dump off the water, and we are going to clean these thoroughly. And don't worry, the beefy flavor is still gonna be there. I heard one lady was saying that her Asian mommy's always like, don't cook them too long. I don't want any of my beef flavor leaving. Don't worry, the beef flavor is not going to leave. So after we do that first initial boil, we're gonna go through and we're just gonna wash off the bones in cold water, make sure any of that gunk is off. So one of the things that I have learned is that boiling water does not get rid of impurities. It only concentrates the toxins more. So we are using a Berkey water filter system. I'm putting my ginger and my grilled onions in the big pot. The big pot is going to be the pho. Now this is the pack of seasonings that I got from the international market, and this is what is going to give your pho that traditional flavor. Now you do not need to keep buying this package. What you can do, I just wanted to show you, this is the package you get from the international market. It comes with a tea bag, some sort of cloth bag, and I wanted to just show you that the herbs that come in it are coriander, which you can see there are the bigger golden balls, fennel, which is the green one, star anise, which is the ones that look like a star. The one I'm crushing here is black cardamom. And then what else? We have cloves. Yes, so coriander, fennel, star anise, cloves, black cardamom, and cinnamon. So those are the seasonings that go in traditional pho. So what you can do is you can buy the package once, you can measure how much of each seasoning there is, and then you can just keep these herbs on hand, which I have all of these on hand. These are all very, very good for digestion, very good for regulating blood sugar with the cinnamon. So many benefits for all of those herbs, which I already have on hand. So then I'm just adding some salt. I added those herbs to the tea bag, and then I'm putting them in the pot. Now, for the one for my husband, which is our plain bone broth, I'm just putting in some onions, and I also chopped up 2 big bulbs of garlic. Now, one thing I also wanted to let you know is that in traditional Vietnamese pho, they also add rock sugar, but I don't really need to have that, so you can add in rock sugar, and I will add in a little picture of that here on the screen so you can see what it looks like. So I put my pho on low, and you can just let this cook for 2 days. Mine did go for 2 days on low, and as it's simmering, I just pull all the fat off the top. You don't want fat in your pho. You want a nice clean broth. So we're just scooping off the fat. And in another video, I can show you guys how I use the fat to make lotion. Usually I render beef fat for that. So here's the first day. This is my pho after simmering it for just about 4 or 5 hours. You can see that the color is not very rich, but I was very hungry. I kept it on the stove, and so I had it for dinner. I was like I can't remember if I was in my follicular phase or my luteal phase, but I am just sipping on the pho. This was, like I said, about 4 to 5 hours after having it. I'm having it with an egg, and the oxtail were done. The oxtail were still coming off the bone pretty wonderful, as you can see there. So the pho just stayed on top of the oven, and I let it keep going and going. So it's the next morning at 11 a.m. and here is our broth. Look how much more concentrated it is. It's very concentrated. Look at that gorgeous color. It's got that deep brown. As before, it was still very light, but now, as you see, as it's simmered, it's just gotten more and more concentrated. It's so beautiful. So I had some leftover sirloin steak in the freezer, and so the best way to do it is to cut the meat while it's frozen. You can also make some Chinese meatballs that have a really nice flavor. So I'm just cutting up some pieces of steak. And then here are the traditional noodles. I love this brand. These are very thin, very good. You just boil some water, stick the noodles in there for like 2 or 3 minutes. They get nice and soft. Add them to your bowl, and then you can go ahead, and then you guys can see there's my garnish. I go ahead and I add the steak, to my little, I don't even know what they call that thing, but I add it to that. And then you just kind of gently cook it in the broth. I'm adding the broth into my pho. You can pick the fat out if you like. I didn't. And this is the controversial part. A lot of Vietnamese people say, add the fish sauce to the big pot. But a lot of people say, don't do it. It makes it get bitter. So I add my fish sauce in the end, just a few drops. And then I'm adding in some sprouts, some cilantro, some jalapeno, and some chopped up onion. And there you have some traditional pho. Like I said, you can add in meatballs, you can do shrimp, you can do a wide variety of garnish on this soup. I have done meatballs before, but I don't need a lot of meat. The meat for me that's on the oxtail and then the little bit of steak is perfectly fine for me. And then here is the broth that is plain that I made for my husband. And this is the broth that you want to keep on hand at home. I think so many people rely on grocery store broth, and those broths have so much MSG in them and preservatives and things that your body does not know how to process. So this is a plain broth. It has the same cuts. The only difference that I made was it's got onion and garlic, which just gives it a nice flavor. And you can see my husband is actually cooking up something. I don't even remember what he was making, but he was making something and he's like, oh, let me use some of that broth. So this is so great because you can just have this broth for yourself that's just plain.
But that looks excellent.
How much do you want?
Take one spoonful.
So the next morning, this was my pho broth. Look how gelatinous that is. Talk about Korean glass skin, friends. This is how you achieve that Korean glass skin, by having gelatinous bone broth from the oxtail, the ox feet, the marrow. The marrow is so healing. It's got that fat inside. Like I said, there's a little bit of fat in there, which is fine. I don't mind it. I like a little bit of fat. You can take it out. And then I was kind of just bragging a little, showing you guys my nails. I'm not wearing any nail polish. These are my nails from having cultured dairy and prioritizing broth. My nails grow like crazy and they have a really nice natural shine to them. So as a lady, even if you're just trying to have more vanity, broth is your best friend. There is no need to start buying all these things that they tell you that are topical, that work. Healing comes from the inside out. So look at that. We put our spoon in there and oh, it's so jelly. It's so rich, so delicious. And then here, I love this little kitchen gadget. So this is the plain broth that I made for my husband. What I like to do is I go in and I put the broth in this super cube, which I love this thing because it has measurements. You see it says half a cup, 1 cup. And then you just put the broth in it, put it in the freezer. And whenever you have a recipe, all you gotta do is just grab one of the cubes. And this is so great because you don't have to buy store-bought broth anymore. You can use your own. You know what it has in it. It's got health benefits. It's got all the things that you need, the amino acids. It's got the healing components for your joints, for your hair, for your skin, for your nails. If you're having trouble sleeping at night, you can warm some of this up. Add a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of collagen peptides, and it's going to help you sleep better at night. And you can see my husband had another recipe and he's like, I need broth. So this broth is amazing. Let me know what you guys think of the pho. Let me know what you think of the bone broth. And let me know if you're noticing any health benefits. It's really amazing stuff. And don't forget to head to Sisterfrennn.com to get my grocery guide and my Rebirth the Ancestral Way. I hope you guys enjoy this.